Xin chào everybody, welcome back to Boi Boi's Life where I talk about life, identity, and everything else in between. I'm gonna take you behind the real origin of Boi Boi Jewelers and why I finally decided to do custom name jewelry. Not just the branding, not just the Instagram posts, but the raw emotional truth of how this business was born out of grief, love, and finding the meaning through somebody else's pain. And I think this story might change the way you think about your own name as well. So let's talk about it. So I honestly didn't start a jewelry name business. I launched my business and for jewelry, but I wasn't really sure where or what direction I really wanted to go to. Or I didn't really know or see the vision where I wanted to take this business. And I was in this weird in-between phase and I knew I didn't want to work for the corporate world again. I was training under my dad as a goldsmith, but I didn't have a clear vision and nothing felt right at that moment. But then somebody in my life passed away and my auntie's husband, leaving behind 3 kids, and they're all very young, and the youngest is just 12 years old. That age hit me hard because years ago, my own uncle passed away as well, and his daughter was also 12 when it happened. Same age, same grief, different family. But that kind of pain, it echoes, and it doesn't just visit once. So while I was lying in bed at nighttime with a heavy heart thinking about my little cousin, with her loss, her pain, and I kept wondering, what could I do? What could I make that's small, meaningful, and safe, but still carries love? So her Vietnamese nickname is Strawberry, which is kind of like the English translation of me saying strawberry. In Vietnamese, it's called Yao, and I've always called her that. Even now, I've always called her that, and it stuck with me. And I thought, what if I create a small, solid gold pendant for her? Just the initial of her name and a tiny strawberry charm beside it. Not her full name, just because she's still a kid and I wanted to protect her. It felt creepy and dangerous to engrave her full name when she's still so young. And since we live in a world where we have to think things about like safety and boundaries, especially for girls, I didn't want to risk it. But the idea sparked inside of me. While sketching it in my mind, I thought about names, my own name, and how names are just so much more than what we write on paper and what people call us. There are roots, there are legacy, and there are identity. And something just clicked. That pendant, that tiny thoughtful gesture became the very first piece of Boi Boi Jewelers. And my dad has always done custom name jewelries in our family. Like all the girls in my family all have a custom made name. And he does it for friends and family as well. So it just honestly makes sense that I want to actually do custom name jewelry. Your name lives with you from the very first breath to your last, and the one thing you carry your entire life. And if you really think about it, without a name, we're just a body, a blank label, a barcode, a number on a form. Our names, especially for those of us from immigrant families or different cultures, they are not just labels, they are layered. They hold history, they hold love, and sometimes they hold pain too. I used to be ashamed of my Vietnamese name, Boi Boi. I hated it. People didn't bully me or anything, but I bullied myself. I hated how it sounded like boy, and I hated how different it made me feel. But now, I wear it proudly, named my entire brand after it. My podcast, my jewelry, my story. Despite me having an full English legal name, I wanted to do something that was proud. And in the same way, I reclaimed my name. I wanted my jewelry to help others reclaim theirs as well. So I've done other jewelry before. I did the engagement rings, I sold plated pieces, I worked with factories all the way in China, and custom work as well, but nothing felt right and nothing clicked in my heart deeply until that one pendant. That moment, that grief gave me clarity. I realized that this is it. This is the kind of jewelry that actually means something. Not because it's just cute, but it tells a story, because it holds a name, because it remembers. And this is why I chose real solid gold, because names should last, because grief deserves more than plated metal that turns green, because your identity is worth something real. Something you can pass down, something that will survive even a house fire, something that appreciates in value, like the legacy you're building. When you buy a name piece from Boi Boi Jewelers, you're not just buying gold, you're buying a reminder that you matter, that your name matters, that the people you love deserve to be remembered in something strong, timeless, and beautiful. It's your story turned into art. It's your legacy made wearable. And if you're someone who's always felt in between cultures like me, someone who's had two names, two lives, and two selves, then this jewelry is for you. You won't find this in a big box store. You won't find this quality at a fast fashion prices either. This is 100% real solid gold. No fillers, no plating, no shortcuts. Because names, your name, your family's name, and your children's name, they all deserve more. They deserve gold that never fades. So yeah, this is the story behind Boi Boi Jewelers. A strawberry, a name, a lost, and a purpose. If this story touched you, or if you ever felt your own complicated relationship with your own name, then I'd love for you to share this episode. And if you haven't already, I actually did a whole new episode on grief, especially how children processing grief differently than adults. I talk about the subtle signs we should look for and how important it is for us to show up for the kids in our lives when they're hurting, even if they don't have the words for it yet. And one of the most vulnerable episodes I've done, I'll link the description down below if you want to give it a listen, and tag someone whose name you want to celebrate, or send them a custom gift to tell them that they matter. And if you're ready to wear your own story with pride, you can check out my latest work at Boi Boi Jewelers. So until next time, wear your name with pride, wear your story in gold, and remember, you are not just a name, you are a legacy. So I hope that you enjoyed this, and don't forget to follow my business channel on Instagram, Boi Boi Jewelers. Send me a DM message, and I'll link that down below as well. But I hope that you enjoyed this episode, and don't forget to follow my channel for more. Thank you for listening, everyone, and I'll see you next time in my next episode.